I've been on a journey for a while now, a few years, every single day. This is the pond that I was talking about. This was built by my granddad. I couldn't even keep the things alive. Now I consider myself to be a bit of an expert on it. I found a calling for it, a real grasp on me. You love this and you cannot give this up. We are growing the biggest and the best facility in the country. We started from very humble beginnings. Welcome back to My Boys Koi. In this video, I want to delve into what got me into this hobby and what turned into a business, and why I believe that I'm going to turn My Boys Koi into not only the biggest importer of Japanese fish into the UK, but also the best supplier for our customers. I've been on a journey for a while now, a few years, every single day, every up and down. We fight face head on. We come back and we fight through it, but it started somewhere. It started with a frustration and not being able to keep the fish alive. I want to show you some fish. I started off getting some little guppies and small fish in a fish tank, then decided I wanted a big fish tank, a really big fish tank. So I went and bought the biggest fish tank I could find, 6 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot. I decided that I wanted carp in there, all different carp, mirrors, commons, all different bits. So I went and bought all different fish from all different pet shops, all different places, and put them into a massive tank. Do you know what happened next? What happened next was they all went belly up. They were dying all the time, near enough every single day, at least one was dying. How did I combat this? I done what everyone does when you first start. I went and bought more fish. I bought more fish from different places, commons and mirrors, and I bought a tench, and I bought all different stuff, a sturgeon and everything else. Some koi, some bits and bobs from everywhere. And I kept putting it in the tank. Many reasons why this tank was failing. One was the filtration was not good enough. Two was it was in a conservatory, so when the temperatures went up, the tank got really hot, and when they went down, the tank got really cool, so the temperature fluctuations were massive. The fish don't like that. And three, I was buying from anyone and everyone, all different places, all different dealers, all different shops and garden centres, whatever I could find, because I was so obsessed with it. I was buying all these different fish, and I was bringing in all kinds of parasites, diseases, and whatever else. And at that point, I never had a clue what was going wrong, but the fish kept dying. But the story starts before that tank. The story starts when I was a kid. I want to show you this pond. This pond was my granddad's pond. It's over 36 years old, I think it is now. And it's block rendered pond, and it's still going strong. Have a look at it. This is the pond that I was talking about. This was built by my granddad. My dad has maintained it for many years. Very small block and render pond, proper render. You see the ice on the table. That render has never been messed with, apart from it gets a coat of paint every few years. That pond has been around my whole life. It's about a year older than me, so it's about 34, maybe 35 years old. Ran on this little tiny box filter, and it's turned off right now, but for many years that was like my childhood pond, growing up around there. And it's still standing. So the fish tank idea wasn't working out. I decided I'm going to build a pond in the garden. So I got some scrap wood and I started screwing it together, and I made a little pond, pretty much as rough as that is right there. Scrap wood, bits and bobs, made a bit of a pond. Again, not massive, but bigger than the fish tank. And I went on eBay and I bought myself 100 fry. These look here because these are some of the bigger ones. A little bit hard to see. I don't know if you can see through there. The sun's it's early in the morning, it's before 9 o'clock, and the sun's shining quite bright. Yeah, you can see them in there. They're some of the big ones. They're probably over an inch. With the 100 fry that I bought off eBay, I then thought I was a pro, because I managed to keep most of them alive. And if you go back on the very beginning of this channel, a few years now, for over 3.5 years, you will see me fry. You'll see me trying to keep them alive and me being obsessed with them and netting them and messing with them nearly every single day. I love these little fish, these little 50p each fry that were all pretty much the same colours and didn't really have varieties. No one would have known now, but at the time I thought they were amazing and I loved it. So I built the pond for the fry. I ended up buying more fish and I got bigger fish and I spawned them and I ended up with more fry because I had my own fry. Oh wow, did that get a lot. I built more ponds, I built them and they bowed, I built them long and thin and tall and every shape you can imagine. I built these ponds. They cracked, they burst, they bowed, they were awful, they were really bad, but I never had a clue how to build. I'd only ever done bits and bobs and I learned as I went. I learned that every single cube of water is a ton in weight, so 1,000 litres is 1 ton of weight. Can you imagine how much pressure is pushing out when you're building 4 metres long, 2 metres wide, 1 metre high? Essentially you're creating 6-7 tons of pressure pushing out. I learned that the hard way. So now I've told you a little bit about how it started, growing up with fish and also then buying fish and different ponds and different tanks and trying to keep them alive and buying fish and spawning fish and everything else. And then I got a lake. I went and I jumped in the deep end and I went and done a deal with someone that turned out to be an awful deal. I lost about 10 grand on it. It was a bad deal start to finish. I bought a load of crap fish to put in it and start to finish it was just horrendous, to be honest. I put bad fish into bad water on a dodgy deal. It just absolutely stunk, but we live and learn. So all in all I lost about £10,000 on that deal. I won't do that again. Becky has learned that I do things the hard way. I was really into it, I was obsessed with it, but I was spending so much money on it and I was also getting really frustrated because when I was approaching some dealers, not all, it always felt like I didn't know what I was talking about and no one was interested in trying to teach you or educate you or give the time for you. There was a lot less YouTube channels at that time. Every man the dog's now got one explaining how to build stuff, but there wasn't as many. There was probably about 4 or 5 core ones and the odd one that come and went. I was learning the hard way. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the industry. I didn't like approaching people and asking for help and really not feeling like I was getting a lot of help. And so I thought I'm gonna turn this small YouTube channel, a little session with fish, into a business. I'm gonna grow this business, and I started it. I set up My Boys Koi. We didn't go limited as first. We ran it from our other business, which was a dog food business, which was Dab Dogs, and that's why we were sort of associated at the beginning. If some of you remember that, because I didn't really think it was going to be a business, I didn't think it was going to be viable, so I kept it separate. But then it did. It blew up, and then I created My Boys Koi Limited. And so I set up My Boys Koi Limited with the goal to buy amazing Japanese fish and tell people about them and show people on videos. And yeah, I just wanted to be so immersed in it. I wanted to buy the best fish. I wanted to get everyone involved. I set up a WhatsApp group before everyone else was doing WhatsApp groups. We were one of the very original ones, if not the very first, who was actively selling fish. We done a live YouTube auction. It was just amazing. We were doing so much stuff and I was just loving being a part of the hobby, start to finish, and getting involved with everyone on a daily basis. I became so obsessed with koi that all I done was eat, sleep and breathe it. I spoke about them all day, every day to anyone who would listen. But not only koi, the industry, the overall picture, buying koi from Japan, selling them, wheeling and dealing, buying fish that other people never had, buying big fish, buying small fish, buying varieties that I thought someone else might not buy, so I bought 240 Hiyatsori thinking no one else had them, and every single other dealer bought Hiyatsori and you couldn't give them away. I was just running like a madman and just really enjoying this journey. We would buy fish and build a pond the next day because they were coming the day after, and we had to get a pond because we were selling so many fish, and I was just loving it so much. I was thinking, we don't stop, we never stop, we just keep building, we keep building. But over time, I learned to slow down. I learned to appreciate what I've got. I learned to look after the fish to a very high standard. In them early days, I couldn't even keep the things alive. Now, I consider myself to be a bit of an expert on it. I understand koi very, very well. I can treat them very, very well. I can look after them very, very well. I sold tens of thousands of them, very few complaints, people keep coming back. So I've mastered the art of koi, I believe, and the journey is just beginning. But one of the reasons why I mastered the art of koi was because of the frustration with the industry that I like to try and think that I have a little part in changing. The reason why I believe that I can become the biggest and the best at what I do is because the obsession has never gone away. I love it all day, every day. A lot of people were born into this industry, brought to this industry from a very early age. Now, I wasn't. I found this industry. I found a calling for it, a real grasp on me that went, you love this and you cannot give this up. I moved my family to Wales. I turned the whole place into ponds. There's 21 ponds. I started with a fish tank. The obsession has never gone away. If anything, it just gets bigger every single day. And I get to buy fish like the ones I've just shown you. It doesn't stop. But there's more to the story. So now I've told you most of the story. But now the reason why I believe we can become the biggest and the best at what we do is because I don't believe other people see the vision that I see. It's not just about buying expensive fish from Japan and selling them to people who've got a lot of money. It's about enjoying and really sharing the hobby and the passion. And it's one of the reasons why I try and bring the prices down on all of our fish, because there was points where I felt really excluded going to koi events, you know, being around people and just thinking, oh, you know, these have got a lot of money, middle class, that type of thing. And I love the idea of bringing koi to everyone at every price point. But I also love the idea of flooding the UK with the best fish. So as we grow, we're bringing in more and more, bigger ponds, better setups, and bringing in more fish. My end goal is that we hold so many fish that we are the one-stop shop for the whole country. There's other dealers bigger than us, far bigger than us. We're 3 years old and we've got 21 ponds and we've sold tens of thousands of fish. The journey is still very young. As much as I do get frustrated, and you might see that on the videos where I want polytunnels, I want land, I want buildings, sometimes I have to remind myself of how far we've come in such a short time. I'm going to grow the biggest and the best facility in the country. I'm going to bring in all the fish that you could ever dream of buying at the best prices. I'm going to disrupt this industry to the point that, well, I'm already a bit of a man, my character, but I'm going to disrupt this industry to the point that people really don't like what we've done. They really get upset with what we've done. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to make it so that you can go and you can get the best fish for the best prices and the best varieties, and you're going to come to the best facility in the country, and we're going to grow that, and we're going to build that, and we're going to do it with your support. I'm already on that journey. I went and done some viewings this week. We're growing, we're getting bigger. I just want to say I've really pleased myself with that. But yeah, we are growing the biggest and the best facility in the country. We started from very humble beginnings. I couldn't even keep guppies alive. So I want to say thank you for who followed us so far. If you didn't know where we started, hopefully you know a little bit more about us. Yes, we are still very new to this industry, but believe me, I do it 365. There's never a day off. There's no time took off, no holidays, no trips away. This is all day, every day, and we've never ever stopped. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. There's lots more coming. 26, we've got loads going on. I've done viewings this week. There's big things happening very soon. We are going to be the biggest and the best at what we do. I don't want to keep talking about that. I want to show you. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.